My friends, in the middle of today's gospel reading, Jesus gives us his formula for human relationships. It is probably the most widely quoted, greatly admired, and seldomly practiced principle of the entire Bible. Do unto others the way you would have them do to you. Now, in these brief moments together, let us look at that old law and refresh our memories on what it does and does not say. First, and most obvious, it does not say, treat others the way they treat you. It was, in fact, this very concept that Jesus was seeking to correct. The ancient law of retribution says an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. You can read all about it in Exodus chapter 21. In this enlightened and civilized age, you and I are repulsed by the thought of an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. Just the quoting of it almost makes us cringe. And yet, that's the very way that you and I tend to live. Our basic inclination is to react instead of to act. If someone is rude to us, we are rude to them. If another driver honks their horn and glares at us, we honk and glare right back. If someone screams at us, our tempers and our voices automatically climb to a fever pitch. That is nothing more than the age-old law of an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. Human nature hasn't changed much, has it? Most of us are still inclined to treat others the way they treat us. Another thing that it does not say is that others will treat us the way we treat them. Dr. Norman Vincent Peale told about a restaurant in Traverse City, Michigan that operates on the honor system. There is no cashier. When people finish their meal, they just go to the cash register, ring up their bill, and pay their money and leave. They have operated this way for over 30 years. Peale quotes the owner as saying, "If you trust people, they won't cheat on you." That's a beautiful way of doing business, isn't it? Would it work everywhere? I doubt it. Although it's generally true that we get back from people essentially what we give to them. But don't expect it to work every time. You'll be disappointed. Jesus treated people with love and honesty and kindness, and you know the results. They nailed him to a cross. What Jesus said was this: treat others the way you would have them treat you. That involves three things. The first is imagination. Now, in your mind, put yourself in the other person's place. Now, this isn't always easy to do. Some people's backgrounds and experiences are so different from our own that it's very difficult to relate to them. For example, it isn't easy for a middle-aged father to put himself in the place of his teenage daughter. The gaps that separate person from person can be and often is exceedingly wide. That's the reason we have to work at it. Use your imagination. Try to stand for a few moments in the other person's shoes. The next thing is decision. Once your imagination has enabled you to change roles, then you must decide how you would like to be treated. That kind of decision calls for both wisdom and honesty. Go back to the example with the father and the daughter. If he were in her place, he would not want to be pampered all the time, but he would want some understanding, patience, and a degree of cooperation. First, put yourself in the other person's place. Then with wisdom and honesty, decide how you want to be treated. The third is action. Once you get it straight in your mind, go and do it. You see, the teachings of Jesus are always action-oriented. It isn't enough to think or feel or decide. The bottom line is performance. Treat others the way you would have them treat you.